One is Anand Rathi Shares and Brokers. Now, they did come out with their quarterly result. Again, a very strong performance by the company. It was an interesting one, and let's go across because stocks also doing decently well, 1.8% right now. But we're joined by Pradeep Gupta. He's the chairman and managing director at Anand Rathi Shares and Stock Brokers. Thanks so much, sir, for firstly joining in and giving us time here at NDTV Profit. It was a strong run rate. Will you be able to maintain the growth that you've seen in the past?
If you really look at it, the way we have presented and the way the company is progressing, I think we will be able to achieve the run rate which is already being set by the company, and probably we will be able to improvise because by and large, January, February, March is always a better quarter from a distribution revenue income, which is part of our non-broking businesses. So I believe, yes, I think we will be able to achieve the run rate at which this company is showing the performances.
I'm also being joined by Hira Dadia from, of course, the research desk as well, who's joining into this conversation. Hira, take it away.
Thank you for that, Puneet. In fact, Pradeep, thank you for speaking to us as well. Now, we spoke about the Q3 numbers. Now, if you're talking about the PAT margin, 14.9 to 15.3% is the kind of range. How confident are you in terms of achieving and sustaining the long-term target of 30 to 33%? And what are the primary drivers for the significant margin expansion from here on?
Yeah, I think almost 3 quarters have already gone. And if you really look at the numbers, quarter on quarter basis, we have grown by 22% in revenue term and almost about 72% growth in PAT terms. In terms of numbers, if I speak about, I think we have achieved about 248 crore in revenue for this quarter and a PAT of about 38 crore. And if I look at it 9 months per se for the whole financial year, we have already achieved about 88 to 89 crore PAT this year. So I think, with the same run rate can be maintained and we will be able to achieve, good amount of growth, which we are aspiring to do. By and large, we have been talking that we will be able to achieve about 20 to 25% growth in top line and about 25% to 30% growth in bottom line. And we are aspiring to reach to that level and maintain that level this year, this financial year also.
So, Pradeep, don't you think you're really maintaining a very conservative 20 to 25% annual revenue growth guidance for the long term, taking the current trajectory into consideration? Are you being conservative?
Yeah, one must look at the overall business module of this company and by and large broking company. And in broking, your dependency in broking is coming from market conditions. And if you really look at market conditions, on quarter basis, on cash market, that is where we are playing a bigger role. Hardly 3% kind of a growth had happened. Now, until unless that market sentiments and market thinking or market turnovers are not going to expand and increase, the growth in broking number is not going to be sustainable. Whatever growth we are seeing and we will see is going to happen by way of inducting new customer base and trying to see that our customer constantly, work towards their investments. Now, non-broking is something and which includes our margin trading funding as well as the distribution, which includes all the investment products. That's where we are literally focusing and trying to bring good amount of growth. So that is where we have our control, and that's the reason, if you really know, we have been talking that our whole motive is 60-40 kind of a ratio between broking and non-broking to 50-50 kind of a ratio between broking and non-broking by achieving overall 20% kind of a targeted revenue growth, and PAT line growth will automatically come since our distribution or a non-broking revenue, which is still expanding and growing at about 35 to 40% level. So that's how this whole work is happening and is going to happen in future also.
Okay, Pradeep, what's the timeline for achieving the desired mix between broking and non-broking?
So I think our motive was by 27 we will be able to achieve these 50-50 kind of a revenue mix. Though if you really look at it, we have already reached to 55, 45 or 50, 54, 46 kind of a revenue mix. But over a period of time, it has to be a sustainable growth in both the product basket as well as revenue mix. And then we should aspire to see by 27, we should be definitely see a 50-50, full-fledged 50-50 kind of a revenue mix.
And lastly, how do your recent strong client acquisition numbers align with your long-term AUM per relationship manager targets?
So in terms of, if you really look at in this quarter itself, we have already achieved an AUM of about 8,370 crore. Now that results into we are aspiring to reach to somewhere around 9,500 to 10,000 crore in terms of AUM, which directly contributes our non-broking side distribution income, right? And next year again we are going to have certain amount of target on AUM side rather than client acquisition side, because it's a relationship management business. That's where we are trying to penetrate and trying to increase our footprint in terms of number of RMs. We are trying to increase our footprint in terms of branches. So if you really look at it, by December 25, we have already reached to about 97 branches, which were in quarter 2, which is in September, we were somewhere around 92 branches. So about 5 branches have opened up. Now, obviously, in this kind of a business, setting up branches, bringing RM, and those RM started generating revenue will take a little bit time. So there is a gap of about 6 to 9 months. So over 6 to 9 months, these branches and these RMs will started becoming more productive and will started contributing towards AUM, will started contributing towards revenue. So whole endeavor is constantly looking at location, increase our footprint by way of RMs, increase our footprint by way of branches, increase our footprint by way of business partners, and try to drive the businesses through them.
Okay, thank you, Pradeep. You know, this was interesting to see because it seems that you're being conservative, but outlook going ahead in this kind of an environment is going to be absolutely crucial.